Sunday movie review for a day. Rise, RRR Revolt. There's two characters, Beam and Raj, who are, one's fire related, Beam is, and Raj is water. It's overall just a great overall story. I definitely recommend it. 9.5 out of 10. That's the rating I would give it. The CGI is amazing. The story is just overall amazing as well. So, first off, Beam, some girls taken from his village. They're very connected. Everyone's like related somehow. They all call each other brother and sister, things like that. So he has to pretty much find her. And at first, he really doesn't know that much what to do. Like, he really doesn't know what to do, but him and his brother go into town in Delhi, and they meet this other soldier who, when it starts out, there's a guy who throws a rock at one of the British soldiers, and he literally like jumps into the crowd and like finds him. It's like a group of 10,000 people, like a bunch of people, and the CGI is so amazing. It's honestly one of the best I've ever seen. And he punishes him. Like, he literally takes him out of the crowd, and at the end, pretty much everyone in the crowd is really like, they're actually injured after that. It's really insane. Overall, they meet each other. It's at a bridge trying to save this kid. And then they really just become friends the whole time. It's really just a great story overall. But Raj, you don't really know his overall what's happening with him. You might sometimes kind of switches. Is he good? Is he bad? You don't really know at some points. But then Beam actually meets Jennifer, which she's more important in this story later. But you really can't communicate with her. She invites him to a party. They go to the party. They have a dance-off with some British people. And overall, it's just great. The dance numbers were amazing in this movie. Especially that dance they did. They outdanced the other guy, and it wasn't even close. It was a great overall movie. And that's the one thing I like about Tollywood movie. The dance numbers they had were... They should start doing that more in any action movie. This movie really put to shame any action movie in the US. And you guys just need to see it. And after that, he finds out that his sister is actually in Jennifer. The lady Scott in the beginning actually kidnapped her, and the mom tried to get her, and the soldier literally like hit her in the head with like a club. So pretty much the main overarching story is some of the British soldiers don't believe that they don't want to waste. This is so disgusting. They don't want to waste any bullets on any person, so they actually like find another way, like hit him with the head with a club and stuff like that. It just really gets very bizarre. But so then they have the dance off. Later on, there's a party that's gonna happen, and the party, that action sequence was insane. Literally, Raj throws a jaguar, and that's probably the best action sequence I've seen in my life, probably. It was just amazing. Overall, the visual effects, it really just shows you how much they can really do. And I think a lot of Hollywood really needs to step up. Like, this movie was very good. I would say the action sequences were probably some of the best I've ever seen. And I just definitely recommend. It's 3 hours plus in the movie, but it's definitely worth it. And some of the fight sequences are just insane. So after the party, he's pretty much forced to pretty much give up, because Raj actually threatens to kill the sister, but he isn't. But after that, he has to do an execution, or they want to like really show why the revolt is dying down by pretty much doing a public lashing of him. And he's pretty much singing the whole time, trying to give motivation. And at the end, he really like gives the whole crowd motivation to really revolt against the British. And it really works. Like, it really has a lot of people just like fighting in there. And then Raj actually realized that. So his dad was an Indian. He was like trying to start a soldier, and one day British soldiers came in to invade, and they really tried to get him, but they really tried to like kill everyone in the village. But Raj and his dad really fended him off at the end. It's a great overall story, and his pretty much whole thing was he wanted to become a certain point in the military where he could appoint, so he could get a mission for the weapons run. So if he could give every Indian citizen a weapon of revolt against the British, it might be a better idea. And then he realizes it might be more power and motivation if he doesn't. So then he rescues him out of. It's pretty much a great story. After that, they're about to kill him. He rescues him. Raj rescues Beam, and then Beam has to rescue Raj, and that's probably just the best part. Overall, it really shows the fight between the two. So then, after he rescues him, they're at the prison. They go in the jungle and they see a bunch of British soldiers, and they have to fight him to death. That's really what it is. And they just light some fire arrows, start firing at each other. It starts getting entertaining. And then after they're done fighting those soldiers, they go to the main big bad, the main general soldier, whatever he is, and actually blow his whole thing up with TNT and grenades. It gets very entertaining. It's probably one of the most entertaining movies. You need to see it. I can't recommend it enough. And it's probably it's the second movie I've seen over this week. I definitely recommend. So for the second movie I saw was Thor: Love and Thunder. Definitely a great movie. Gore the God Butcher. That's an insane plot. Overall, I liked it a lot. I'd give it a 9.2 out of 10. It was very good, very humorous throughout. I would say the storyline was very cohesive throughout. I would say a 9.2 for storyline as well. So overall, Gore, his daughter is about to die, so he doesn't really know what to do. So he's really like, I think he's thirsty or something. It starts on the beginning, struggling. He's praying to a god to really help him, and nothing really happens. Daughter dies. It's very sad. And then he meets the god, and the god's like he doesn't care at all. He doesn't care that the daughter died. He's just saying, oh, someone else will torture me. And then this sword disappears out of nowhere. He just stabs him with it. And that's pretty much how it starts out and explains what's happening. Thor, he does a workout montage when you first see him. Overall, just looking good. And he's with the Guardians. He hears about him because some temple was destroyed by one of the people he had. Like one of the beings he sent. And it's just overall very entertaining. And after that, after he hears about him, there's a bunch of distress signals. He goes back to Asgard. Some of the kids are actually abducted because he needs Thor's hammer. That will be explained later, but overall it's just a great point right there. And then they go to where all the gods are living. Zeus shows up, and he's played by Russell Crowe. Definitely a great performance from him. Probably one of his best performances he's had in a while. Zeus does have a Greek accent, by the way. It's very funny. He can barely... It's kind of sometimes hard to understand what he's saying, but very entertaining overall. And Zeus is really just showing off to everyone. And then, pretty much just makes Thor naked out in front of all the other gods. And that's probably just the funniest part in the scene. But then he gets the lightning bolt and then combines it with thunder and throws it at Zeus, which you think he might be dead, but I'll explain that later. Overall, just a great overall story at that point. And they were thinking about teaming with Rob. None of the gods really take him seriously. They really just shove it away. Zeus knows the threat. He just doesn't want to really make anyone nervous, he said. But I just think he was scared of Gore overall. And then after that, they go to find him. They go to find the kids. They find out he's in some dark dimension or something like that. And it just starts getting good from there. But I forgot to mention one thing. Jane's in this movie. We find out she has cancer. She's stage 4 cancer. Thor eventually puts it together that every time she uses Mjolnir, she pretty much dies more and more. It's like taking energy away from her. And it's just really unfortunate. So they hunt down Gore. There's an epic fight scene. Val actually gets stabbed in that one. So I thought she was going to die in that, but she didn't. Jane and Gore and Thor, that was probably one of the best fight scenes. Thor actually gives some of the kids the powers of thunder. That was probably a good fight scene as well. I would definitely like that one as well. But some of the fight scenes in this movie were insane. A lot of people didn't like this movie. Thought it was too comedic and tried to deal with trauma too much, which in my opinion, that's ludicrous. It's a great overall movie. I don't really care what other people are saying. But after that fight scene with Gore, he opens the portal because they really can't stop him. At the end, his sword does get destroyed, but somehow he can keep going. I don't really know. And Jane really uses the last of her powers, but it's really for nothing because he opened the eternal portal, which he's really looking at grant a wish overall to really get his daughter back. Actually, not to get his daughter back, to kill all the gods. And once he does that, pretty much everything is over, but he actually Instead, Thor convinces him to wish his daughter back. And then Jane really just disappears into nothing. And then at the end of the movie, everything goes good. And Thor actually has a daughter in this one. That's how love, what the Thor Love and Thunder means. Love is her name. So I definitely can't more recommend this movie. It's very good overall. I definitely think you should watch it. And I would watch it if I was you. What other movies do you want me to review and talk about? I need to get better at this reviewing. I feel like some of the time I just haven't been concisive with everything I've been saying. But for the storyline of RRR, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's if two historical figures met, and what would happen if they became best friends. Very interesting plot. I don't know if it would really work if it was a Hollywood film. I feel like the Tollywood industry is definitely doing it great, and doing very big things, like really showing what Hollywood used to be like, showing really stories. I feel like the thing now, it's really just bending on one genre. Like if it's an action movie, it can only be an action movie. This movie was action, drama, dance, and a lot of different plot points. I feel like that's why other industries are starting to explode, because they can be more than one thing. And hopefully more people are starting to realize. But I saw some people complaining, saying, oh, Thor is more of a comedy, but some people were complaining that's not concisive to the MCU storyline. But I saw other people saying before that they didn't want so many MCU stories connected. They wanted more individual. It's just, a lot of the fans are being weird right now. But what do you think about this overall? And this is my Sunday movie review. Should I start doing this more? And what movies should I review next?